Greetings and salutations. It is Robert Phoenix with another edition of the Astro Weather. And we are back after a marathon night of appearances and live streaming. I was on with the one, the Dr. Longo yesterday. And I think it was 7 p.m. till about 10 p.m., about 3 hours. And had a full crew in the house. And then after that, I was on with Clyde Lewis over on Ground Zero from 11 p.m. my time to midnight my time. So it was a marathon session of information exchange. It was Clyde was short but sweet. And we talked about the whole Trump thing. Imagine that. We were talking about the Trump thing. And you know, I let it slip. I said, we're on a new timeline. We are on a new timeline. Trump literally dodged a bullet and we are on a new timeline. And once I brought that into the equation, it started to just jam the gears in Clyde's mind, but in a good way. In a good way. Because the thing that has always shadowed is this whole idea of time travel. His uncle was the guy who, got to Tesla's material before anybody else got there. And then you have the whole Barron Trump books, which are just utterly bizarre, right? Like how do those books come about? Then you have Back to the Future, right? Where Trump's character is Michael J. Fox's nemesis, although he's not really Trump until Back to the Future 2, where Biff owns this massive hotel and Biff winds up stealing Marty McFly's time machine. It's not really his time machine. It's the professor's time machine. But he winds up stealing it, and he has a book of football scores, and he goes back in time and he bets on all the winners of the game, which allows him to amass a fortune. And as a result, become both the, I would say, I don't know what Biff's profession is. I don't know if he's a builder of some sort, but he winds up becoming president of the United States, and he lives in a big hotel, and he lives up on the top floor like Trump, and he's married to Marty McFly's mother. And or no, not his mother. I think it's his girlfriend, right? Isn't it Leah Thompson? It's Leah Thompson. So this whole idea of Trump as a time traveler has been kind of playing in the background this whole time. And one of the things, I'm going to get into more of this on 15 minutes. But one of the things that Clyde and I talked about is the reaction to the people in the background, specifically Vincent Fusca. So I'm going to save some of that for 15 minutes so you guys just get a little taste. I'm not going to give away the entire Golden Buffet banquet right now. This is just the bacon wrapped jalapenos with cream cheese. All right, let's see who is in the house. Who we got? Up into his house? We got my man DJ MC. What's going on, brother Mike? Brother Mike. Julie Sunshine, big cat mama. There she is. I hope your seat trays in the upright position. Your seatbelts are firmly fastened. I'm excited. Been waiting for a long damn time for this. Here's a little Zevia toast to you, Julie Sunshine. Queen Lisa, she's with us. Checking in from Florida. Janice Phillips. What's up, Janice? Oklahoma in the house. Mars and Scorpio Vance gives us insight today. I've heard that he's easy on the eyes. I've heard that more than once about JD Vance. JD Vance has a very interesting background, to say the least. Sweet Woodruff checking in from the DFW. What's happening? Christina Jerzik. What's going on, Christina? Good to see you. Lady Lou from McKinney. Well, look at this. Lady Lou, I work at Plano. Let's do lunch sometime. This is the beauty. This is the beauty of Chattaria. We start from the Platonic realm, the sphere of ideas, right? The new sphere. And then what happens? Then people descend. They descend into the gravity of 3D. And then just like Star Trek, they teleport into each other's lives. That's a beautiful thing about this. Nor is she the queen of speed. What's happening? Vroom, vroom, mama. Jackie Delario. Coming from the Stargate in South Jersey. No, it's actually Margate. God's little acre. Beautiful. Love it. Just to be specific, it's not just any Oklahoma. Janice is in Lake Eufaula, Oklahoma. We were at a lake in Oklahoma. I forget the name of that lake. It was a pleasant lake. It was a pleasant lake. It had lots of grass, picnic tables, and a place that we could wear our swimsuits and go in the water and cool out. Interstellar cosmic conversation. Patricia, what's happening? Hiya Maya. I've been wanting to say that for a while. Hiya Maya. Hiya Maya. Hiya Maya. Hiya. Hiya Maya Rose. She's with us. What's happening? Lisa Ann White, also known as The Law. The Law is in the house. Yeah, the lovely and talented one, Dr. Jonas, on her way to save mouths in Austin. Green-eyed crow. Green-eyed crow. There he is, TJ, coming live from the living room. What's going on? Brother Tam. Melissa Stanton from Florida. Hey, I'll be with my man Ferris tonight. We're a little late in the season, but we will be talking some Astro Dads. Me and Ferris are going to fire it up tonight. So we'll have an Astro Dads debut this Saturday. And it's all about cancer and what it is to raise a cancer child and the attributes of cancer, especially with, it's interesting for a man to have cancerian attributes and raising a child. And it's something that's been kind of a thread through my father to me and to my son, that we all have sort of this line of cancer in our charts. My father had Mercury in Cancer, if I'm not mistaken, and I think he had Venus in Cancer as well. And then yours truly has Mars in Cancer, and then my son is a Cancer rising with Saturn in Cancer. So it's a theme through the male line. Although my mother was also a Cancer rising. SP Dimples checking in from Europa. Nora says, "Did you all see Trump last night? He looked emotionally wounded, shed some tears for him. I don't agree with everything he does, but I certainly have respect for him as a leader of our country." Well, there you go. LMM, we got a Leela signing. What's going on, Leela? Orlando checking in, reporting in coffee. I am done. Orlando, I am done. By the way, I want to thank my good friend down in Panama, Lynn, aka Finca Feliz, for sending up some very fine Panamanian coffee. I have to say, this morning's brew was delicious. As I have the last drop, the final drop. Thank you, Lynn. Let's see, my man Ryan. Yes, please become a member over there on local. Support the show. You can be a paid member, which helps things out immensely. And getting ready to post a new private. This is going to be a private event over on locals. I also posted some movie suggestions for people, and somebody had asked me to do that. I'm going to do more of those, but it was a very specific genre of movies. Since we're in cancer season, um, it was sort of a retrospective. Cancer looks back. It's very nostalgic. And my father and I used to stay up late at night, and because you're a kid, you get to stay up past your bedtime, especially like a Friday or Saturday, and you get to hang out with your father and watch old movies, right? So I got into the whole old movie thing when I was a kid. So I've always had a fondness for movies from the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. And I put up a list of movies over on locals that I recommend that are basically from that era. Mostly the 30s and the 40s. I've one film in the 1950s, Executive Suite with William Holden, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. So it's a lot. The cool thing about it is a lot of these movies are free on YouTube, so you don't have to go out and purchase them. They're there. You can watch them full in their totality. Hey, 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 hey! Knock that shit off. Hey, well, she just thinks she's so free and easy with those claws. Hey, hey, stop that. Hold on a second. We got a crisis here. Stop it. Jesus. Monica Farrow. Hey, Monica. What's going on? Is Barron now at risk? No. Debbie. Debbie. Zoracle Dax. There was a man, Scott. What's going on, Scott? I was telling somebody yesterday about this. Me and Scott and Christina, we go way back to Facebook days, and I think I met them through this. I'll call them the Black Astrology community over on Facebook back around 2011, 2010, 2011, and it was a very cool scene. Like a lot of these people in that community were really switched on to astrology and really good astrologers, and it was such a uh, fun time. It was like I've never considered myself as part of any astrological community except for that one, and it was cool. And then Michael Brown happened in Ferguson, and then it just all went to hell in a handbasket. Anyway, Thor at the door, my man Steve. Yes, I was on Clyde Lewis and wound up going into Rick and Morty territory. None ya beeswax. What's happening? Garden Girl. What's going on, Garden Girl? Listen to this. Lynn. Hola, everyone. Out of the jacuzzi and ready to face the day. Living the life. Think of Feliz. Thanks again, Lynn, for the coffee. Delicious, delicious stuff. Let's see. Yes, you can. Speaking of coffee, you can buy me a coffee there if you like. And everybody who's bought me, here's what I'm going to do. One of these days, very soon, I'm going to put everybody's name who bought me a coffee. I'm going to put it on the crawl. We'll do that for a good moment. Brandy Herrera, what's happening, Brandy? St. Margaret of Scotland. Hi from sunny Florida. Fantastic. It sure feels that way. New timeline. It is. We are in a new timeline zone. Mia Manola. Hi, Mia. Greetings. Misbehaving too. Claire. I literally know that film word for word. My love. Let's see. Kelly B. How did Monday treat me? Monday treated me okay. Although I've got weird appliance and car shit going on in my life. I don't even want to get into it. What a source of frustration. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Moira headed to what is that? What is she headed to? Head to the beach. Good for you. Get one of those. Get one of those seaside submarines. Although I'm sure they're not as good as when they were when I was a kid. And those were delicious. You know when you're young, right? And you have the taste sensation. I don't know if you guys have had this experience, but when you're young and you taste something for the first time and it's really incredible and how the memory just like gets seared into your brain, like that's what I have with the Jersey sub because that's where I grew up for about my first 4 years. And so we would have these submarines, right? And they were just incredible. And I don't know if I'd probably be sorely disappointed. The bread is different. Everything's going to be different, right? But they were so good. Amy Gill, full spectrum rainbow. We got a full spectrum. There's my man, Curtis Moonflower. Hey, photo today. Shout out to Bemidji, Minnesota. I guess there's a Bemidji state up there. Maria de Ange. Maria, what is going on with France? You got to wear a freaking mask to be in the Tour de France, even if you're watching it. Oh my God. I got a mask story for later. Lewis Walden, checking in from, was it Southwest Florida real estate or Southeast? Lewis, please correct us and give us an update. Justice Moody in the house. Hey, Justice. Laura E. Humidity Central, 90% at the moment. Ooh. I guess is that good for your skin when there's a lot of humidity? I think so, isn't it? Um, Look at that. Terry Cattery's busting out her new upgraded phone. Cool. Sharon Lewis, where's my chat? We're right here, Sharon. Holly Beth. Hi, Holly Beth. We got a Scrubbies. We got a Scrubby sighting. Hey, Tamara. We're gonna miss you this year at the event. By the way, the event is on. The event is on. And I'm just gonna put a link every day on the show here moving forward to sign up. Let's see. We've got lots of grass. It's true. You should make your grass recreational. Just saying. No, I like the idea of medicinal. It's a good filter. Valeria Rubens. What's happening, Valeria? Buenos dias. Buenos. Look, man, Brandy is like some fucking superwoman. Look at her. I'm moving my auntie to Washington from New Mexico. She's blind and can't drive, so movers were a necessity. Brandy, you are superwoman. Good for you. Harriet Bowie. Maria, checking in from Bozeman. What's going on, Maria? Joan W. We got Double Jones here today. Cheyenne Jewel caught me on Longo and Ground Zero. Yes, I was busy. It was a busy night. That's for damn sure. But hey, man, I'm a projector, so when you're invited, you got to show up. That is the name of the game. Matt Burns, I turned 50 today. Cancer, raised my son alone. Matt, you know what that means. We'll get into the weather. God, I spent so much time reading, but I love it, man. I love it. It's one of the best parts of my day. All right, let's get a birthday song for Matt. Matt, let's see what we can come up with. Maybe something with a Cancerian theme. Let me see what we got here, Matt. Oh, it's Maya Rose's birthday as well. All right. Okay. I think this one. Let's go with Maya first here. I don't know, Maya. This just seems really interesting. I'm not, I could go in and play you the Espanol version. But Maya, I'm going with something really different here for you. Here we go. Hold on. Come on, come on. Why isn't it playing? No. Here we go. I have no idea where this is going. This is pure improv right here. Oh, that was fucking disappointing. Maya, you get another one. You get another one. How about this one? This one looks promising. Let's see what we got here. I don't know, man. I'm sorry, but these Indian folk are not really. I'm not really getting their happy birthday thing. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Let's see. I think we might just go into these are going to be these are going to be your guys right here. These will be your guys. I know it's probably a little cliche, but I'm sorry. They're just dependable. We can count on them. The mariachi happy birthday song. This is for you, Maya.
Hola. It's your birthday. We're here to party and sing to you. It's from me. Hope you are bueno. The fun will rain the whole day through. From the Gulf to the mountains, the city lights and fountains. We hope your birthday's excellent. You are another year older, so perhaps you should
be generally awesome.
Cause today is your day. Hola. You deserve a grand fiesta, and later on siesta, and the best of everything. Senor.
All right, that'll work. And we got one more for our Cancer Papa, our Cancer Dad. Let's see what we got here. All right, here's for our Cancer dad. This is I don't know. Is this every man's birthday wish? I think at one point in time it probably was. This goes out to our Cancer dad.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
All right. There you go. Happy birthday, Cancer dad. All right, we're going to skip that. Let's get into the weather. I can sit here all day and just rap with you people. When was the last time you just sat down and just rap with somebody? Hey, man, let's rap. Let's rap. Let's get real. Let's get real. Let's rap and get down with it. You know what I'm saying? All right. We got a kite pattern. Forming in the cosmic atmosphere with the focal point of the funnel with the moon in Scorpio. Starting to drop into archaics. We got a cut pattern here today. We have a cut pattern, and we got the moon in Scorpio. And moon in Scorpio, you know, it's dark. It's a dark moon. And you got to watch out for those other people in your life that come after you. Well, they're stingers. We know what you got to do. You got to sting back first. Sting first, ask questions later. That's what I'll say. Anyway, moon in Scorpio. There it is. Focal point of the bucket chart. So the whole idea with a bucket chart is you got to resolve the moon. You got to resolve whatever is at the focal point. You got to resolve it. You resolve the focal point. If you have a bucket chart, which is not a basket chart, which is different. A basket chart is when you have planets that are half the chart, either half this way, half this way, half this way, or half this way. Right? That is a basket chart, which makes you a basket case. No, not really. But but by the way, basket charts are very rare. I've only seen like maybe 2 or 3 in my entire life as an astrologer. And this the bucket chart is probably the most common, I would say. It's the most common. But today, man, we got a grand trine going on, so it's part of the goodness. But we also have a T-square, which is part of the not so goodness. And the T-square is fixed. Man, I have been the last week, this Mercury in Leo in its detriment. Whew, I've had a hot temper last week. Anyway, Mercury square Moon, Mercury square Mars, Mercury square Uranus. Again, I have to tell myself, remind myself, use your words wisely. Use your words wisely. Now, if you are sitting on a Mount Vesuvius of pressure in your life, well, you may just blow. And it kind of happened to me last week. So I've been having to moderate my Mount Vesuvius moments. Right? Like it's been crazy. So today I'm sure I'll have at least 1 or 2 opportunities to test the model. The Mercury in Leo's in detriment. And it's like, I got into it with this woman from Lowe's yesterday on the phone. I'll save the sob story for 15 minutes. But yeah, the thing with Mercury and Leo is there's a lot of indignity. How dare you? How dare you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you people? You can see this with, I think, the Biden interview with Lester Holt last night. I mean, what the fuck? I'm going to play that today in 15 minutes. That is your Mercury and Leo moment. The indignancy that he had towards Lester Holt and you people. Who's he referring to? You people. He better watch it, right? Like Lester Holt is melanated, and you basically Trump has become a freaking gang lord overnight, right? You have these gang bros and Amber Rose showing up at the RNC. Biden better watch it when he starts to go off on you people like Lester Holt, and of course Lester, he's referring to him as a news person, but Lester's a person of color, right? Today's a tough day with the speech stuff. So listen, if you have to bust it out, and make it count. Right? If you've been holding on to it, God, it's like you gotta use your language carefully now. Well, if you've been holding on to a few bullets, now's the time to use them. You can't really say that, can you? I mean, you could, but it's not really going to sound very good, is it? No, it's not. Anyway, um, yeah, there's a lot of prickly tension when it comes to speech. Here's the challenging part, right? With Pallas and the moon in Scorpio, we know intuitively and instinctively what's up. Like we know what's up. There's no lag time between assessing the situation, processing the situation. There's no lag time. Right. We're talking pattern recognition on steroids today. Trining the sun. We're trining Saturn. We're trining Neptune. Right? Like the idea that you're understanding this gut level truth and you know it because you've experienced it before is very prevalent today. And I would say today's probably one of those deja vu days as well. Does anybody get deja vus? I mean, real deja. I'll never forget the first time I had a deja vu. I think I was about 9 years old, 8 or 9, and I was in a Mervyn's clothes store in San Jose, California. And it was the oddest fucking thing. You know, my parents were in the store. I'm walking around by myself, and I see this woman, and she's in the underwear aisle. They called it the soft goods back in the day. And she dropped a kind of a package of underwear, I think. And I knew everything that was going to happen from that moment forward in the next 5 seconds. It was the oddest fucking thing. It was like, how did that happen? You know, you've got a 9-year-old brain and you're trying to wrap your head around this thing that happens. It's like, how did that happen? And you just kind of walk out. I walked out of the store. I think I might have told my parents about it or something. I don't know. Today's a deja vu day. And with the moon in Scorpio, it's deja voodoo. So it'll be interesting to see if you guys have some. We can circle back tomorrow. We got a classic kite pattern with Mars Uranus on the other side of the moon. I just don't think there's a lot of patience. Okay. Let's rephrase this just a little bit. Right? We have great opportunity to follow our instincts, and the lack of patience could be a virtue or it could be a vice. The virtue is that if you are one of these people who has a hard time making up your mind, well, today's one of those days where you can make up your mind, your brain, your heart, and your gut, and go, right? And live with the consequences. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. The only thing that I would caution against, here's what I think, okay? For people who tend to be more introverted, shy, reserved, and you get into this T square with Mercury, Mars, Uranus, and the moon, and you're operating at an instinctual level, I think it's good for you because you're pushing the boundaries of your normal conditions around speech and in self-expression. Like it's pushing you literally out of your shell. So if let's say this is the dividing line, and on this side we have extroverted, and this side we have introverted. If you're on this side of the line, I think today's aspects are very helpful. If you're on this side of the line, today's aspects might suggest that you be a bit more introverted. So today we're role swapping. The introverts play extrovert, the extroverts play introvert. Because if you're already extroverted, you're in this T square. Oh boy, look out. Right. But then you have this kite pattern and this more kind of go with the flow energy, right? Like that's a lot of times people that are extroverted really push things and they don't always go with the flow, right? They are the flow. So this is one of those days where if you're one of those people, like you don't have to be in control of everything. Sit back and go with the freaking flow. And if you're on the other side and you're one of those people that doesn't speak up and goes along to get along or or just goes with the flow, today is a day for you to break that pattern, break that cycle, right? Bust it out. I think it's pretty straightforward. It's really interesting. We were looking at this Venus Pluto opposition last night on Longo. And, I've said before, like that is the widowmaker in astrology. This is the idea that men have it as well. So it's not just men, but women have it. And women with the Venus Pluto opposition, they will go through husbands, either through death or divorce. It's the aspect of the widowmaker. And apparently there was a guy, the fireman, who got shot in Butler, Pennsylvania. Hence the widowmaker. Like now there's a widow and got some wounded kids and a dead husband. So you can see astrology in action, even in the mundane sense. Right. Yep. I think that's it. I think we have because I could look, if this was somebody's chart, this is like a 2-hour fucking reading right here because there's so much going on. I gave you the cheat codes today. You got the cheat codes. All right, let's get into our star of the day. Our True Hemp Science star of the day. I need some True Hemp Science music. You blinded me with True Hemp Science. Let's see. I was a big Thomas Dolby fan. Let's get the banner out. Oh, nope. There we go. No, we want to get rid of that. Yeah, that's what we want. Let's get right into our True Hemp Science star of the day. As the banner is cruising across the bottom part of the screen. And if you have not been here before, well, guess what? You get to hear the spot. And basically the spot is this. And if you have been here before, you get to hear it again. True Hemp Science is the only sponsor this show has. And the reason is because I don't like to fill up my airtime with a bunch of sponsor stuff. Right. I'm my own sponsor since I am a working astrologer, and you can always book a reading with me. And the only other sponsor is my buddy Chris over at True Hemp Science. And that's where you can get some of the absolute best CBD products that you can get your hands on. That's all organically sourced. And he is the mad professor of CBD. And you can get water-based, alcohol-based, spagyrics. You can get CBD, which will help you sleep, will help you with your mood. You'll get CBD to help you reset your body at a cellular level, right? The magic of CBD is real. And all you got to do is go to truehempscience.com. You can go through everything on their homepage. And if you want to learn more about it, you can always make an appointment with Chris. It says speak with an expert right there at the top. You spend $100 or more, type in 15MINS. That's 15MINS. And you will get a free goodie bag with your order of $100 or more. $150 or more get you free shipping. And there's always a 30-day money-back guarantee. You know why? Because he cares about what he does. Cares about the product. Stands behind the product. You can't say that for a lot of Americans these days. It's the way it is. All right, let's talk about our star of the day, one Corey Feldman. What an odd and complicated character Corey Feldman is. He's a Leo rising. You could tell, right? He's always got the thing with the hair. He's very dramatic. By the way, I have a theory that Corey Feldman is the father of Prince Jackson. Because Corey Feldman and Michael Jackson were tight. They actually used to dress up together, which is kind of weird, right? And I don't think that whoever was the embodiment of Michael Jackson at that time produced those kids. That's a different story for a different time. But Corey Feldman, Mercury on the ascendant, right, in Leo, and you can see the audacity of Mercury in detriment on the ascendant, especially if you've listened to his music. You know what I mean? Like Corey Feldman's music is so bad that you have to listen to it and go, holy shit. Like it's so bad, it's almost good. That's Corey Feldman. And he's got that Jupiter square right there. So he's, he's a much bigger fan of his own music and his own ability to express who he is than maybe anybody else. Right. So that alone, and and Corey Feldman's all about the dramatic pronouncement. Remember, he's saying, I'm going to expose Hollywood's pedophiles and I'm going to do GoFundMe and I need all this money in order to, take care of my my documentary that I'm working on. And he's all about the dramatic pronouncement. Let's talk about Gemini, Saturn in Gemini, 10th house, part of fortune. What is he known for? He's known for mostly not shitty music, although he is known for that. He's known for his relationship with the other Corey Haim. They were the two Coreys, right? So the two Coreys of the twins, Gemini and Saturn. They got a lot of work done, but they also got worked on a lot too. Part of fortune, so their fortunes were entangled. And of course, Corey Haim's story is absolutely, utterly tragic. I think it's very hard to believe what Corey Feldman has to say. If you the two Coreys, I don't know if you can still find those shows, but they will blow your fucking mind if you I think it's like just a couple of shows, right? 3 or 4 or something like that. It's not a lot of heavy watching, but it's about them coming together to do this show. And Corey Haim is like very raw with his whole process around what happened to both these guys when they were young and were basically getting butt raped, right? Like they even talk about it. They're having a discussion. They're having a discussion about, what happened. It's like wild. And then there's this like famous gaslighting scene, which is so bizarre, where Corey Feldman, his weird Playboy model wife, which of course that breaks up. What's his name? Todd from Different Strokes. right? He's there, and Pauly Shore is there. All three are there basically to gaslight Corey Haim. It is so fucking weird. And Feldman is sort of like the leader of the pack. And, he's got this Mercury Jupiter square. Again, that's like having way too much belief in his ability to articulate, right? But he also has this T square going on with Neptune. Now, it's not involved with the square with Mercury, but it certainly is jumping on Jupiter. And then we have the Mars square. I tell you right now, Corey Feldman has been addicted to drugs. We know that. Mars Neptune squares are generally a sign of addiction. And if you look into, and I spent a long time diving into Corey Feldman's life. If you look into his life, his family life is very strange. He doesn't talk about it a lot. He was born in Encino. Encino's got a weird vibe. There was a guy who was the partner in the Digital Entertainment Network who lived in Encino, had a compound there, and he was a big pedophile. And that was the downfall of Digital Entertainment Network. And this is where Corey Haim was born and basically raised. He's raised around Encino, California. But he's got a weird family life, weird family story. His father, who he doesn't talk about very much, was from New York, and he was part of this kind of pop music scene, right, where they had like goo goo gaga lyrics, like weird kind of mind control fucking goo goo gaga pop music. His father was involved with that. His sister, we're not really into the third house here, but again, like up here in Gemini, his sister was a working actress. Yeah, we all know that there was the first incarnation of the Mouseketeers, Frankie Avalon, right, Annette Funicello, B. They were big when I was a kid. When I was a little kid, 4 years old, the Mouseketeers, those people would come on, right? Then we all know about the new Mouseketeers with Britney Spears and Ryan Gosling and that whole crew, right? But there was an interim version of the Mouseketeers between those two, and Corey Feldman's sister is a part of those Mouseketeers, right? And you could just see in his home life, like there's a lot of really high strange and no boundaries. There's no boundaries in his home life, none. And what does Corey Haim do as soon as he's 16? He emancipates himself. That's Jupiter in the fourth house. He's like, I'm out of here. Now, I don't know if his destination was any better than where he came from. In his mind, I'm sure he thought it was. But here's my take is that especially with Saturn in opposition to Neptune, I think when you get into the MK Ultra shit, what you find is you find parents that will sell their children out for whatever, right? I feel like Corey Feldman's in that territory. And that's one of the reasons why he wanted to emancipate. Not because he had this money and he didn't want to share it with his parents, although I think there's probably some of that. Cancer is a little bit tight in the wallet, if you know what I mean. But I think it was because he was involved in a family business that he was not into. So he's got a really complicated chart. And you can, if you really dive into his life, I'm telling you, you can see his life in the chart, right? The Saturn part of fortune conjunction, Gemini, the two Corys, 10th house. He has moon up here, right, in Taurus, Palace in Taurus. He's one of those people. He's a very lunar kind of character in a lot of ways. Right. He's sort of shadowy. This is like third quarter waxing moon. I'm sorry, waning moon. Or third quarter waning moon. So his moon he's like his emotions are on display. Whether it's his shitty music or his confessional in the two Corys or his confessional around his violated life, right? That's the moon, right? That is the moon on the midheaven. And Corey winds up invariably putting his foot in his mouth with the Mercury Moon square. You can just see it. It's all over the place. Relationships with this guy, extremely hard. He, like, if you're in an intimate relationship with him, it would be weird. I think it'd be kinky. I think it'd be weird, right? When he had that Playboy model that he was married to, it almost felt like she was his handler. And if she wasn't his handler, I can tell you right now, she was running the energy in that relationship, right? So when you have Mars in the seventh house, you are either the dominator or the dominated in relationship. And I think Corey was the dominated. That's my sense. And then he's got a 12th house sun. And people that have a 12th house sun want to be seen, they want to be recognized, at almost all cost in a lot of ways. So very complex character, but his chart is all over his life and vice versa. So there you go. Corey Haim, your True Hemp Science. Corey Feldman, your True Hemp Science star of the day. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have reached the end of the show. And I thank you so much for being here. Please join us over on 15 Minutes, where we will jump into Trump. We're going to jump into Trump. Wouldn't that be like wild? Like being John Malkovich, like being Donald Trump, and you could have that experience. What the fuck would that be like? Like, you're in Donald Trump's body. It's almost like a virtual reality experience. That would be weird. Anyway, we're going to jump into Trump. Come on over and join us. Link is in the show notes, and hope to see you over there. If not, have yourself a blessed day, evening, wherever you are, and treat each other well. Especially today with that T-square. I got to remind myself. Man, I've had such a quick trigger this last week. When going to be around me in certain places. Anyway, treat each other well, and everything you have is inside of you. Remember that. God bless y'all. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.